What's up, guys? It's your girl Jamila Jacque, and we are back with another episode of the Mindful as Fuck podcast. I got my guy RJ here, and he is going to introduce himself, tell you guys everything that he has going on and what he's about.
How y'all feeling? I'm RJ Griffith. I am a singer-songwriter, actor, certified audio engineer, and I am a founder of Positive Vibes Only, which is our nonprofit, a 501c3 nonprofit based out of East Chicago, Indiana. And yeah, I'm just a person that just loves to spread positivity and make people smile because life is so short.
Oof, you said it. So true, so true. I was just editing some video for my auntie and my grandmother's memorial this Saturday, and two of the things that they were saying in the videos that I put in the slideshow was just like, just love,
Yeah.
just be yourself and just love everybody. And they just kept saying, I'm like, looking at these pictures, that's really all that they were about. And I don't think we really take account for how much we really have to just love ourselves and just love every day.
Yeah.
Because life is so short. You never know when it's going to be your time.
Yeah.
And if you go out too soon, well, I don't think anything is honestly too soon. You go
Yeah.
out when you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other people can look at it like it was too soon. It's like, no, you had more than enough time to get to know that person.
Yeah.
All the time that you had with them was just what you needed. And
Yeah.
what you get from that, you take with you and just keep on pushing. What do you think about that?
No, I love that. I literally just I lost two family members recently as well, and I lost an uncle who was like a huge inspiration to me. He was in a singing group in the '60s and '70s, Chicago group called the Fabulous Turks, and they had a popular song called "You Turn Me On," and growing up, he was so smooth. First off, vocally, I was just like I was always amazed by him, and he was just this guy who taught me so much about the music industry because they were signed to a label in the city, and just telling me how he wished things would have been different, how he would have done things now, and he was just like a walking music history book for me.
Wow.
And so I felt like I did not take as much time as I should have with him, and he passed, and it was just like, but I documented his whole life on video through an interview about, because I ended up remaking this song, and to pay homage to him during the pandemic, and he got him the recognition that he deserved. Got a Chicago Sun-Times article written about him and the songwriter of the song, and it was just like, dang, I wish I had a little bit more time. And then the following week, my cousin passed away, and so her funeral is this upcoming Friday, so next week. So yeah, it's just like, man, life is so short and it's so fragile, and it's just like taking those moments to just live in the moments. First off, we can get off our phones for a little bit, guys, and learn how to just talk to people,
Yes.
love on people,
Yes.
get to know people while they're still here, and don't, wait until you can no longer talk to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that 1,000%, and it's just live, guys, because you just never know,
You really
and
don't.
we aren't guaranteed tomorrow.
Very true. Very true. I love life. It's so beautiful. I didn't used to feel that way. I grew up very depressed. I don't want to say having anxiety. I feel like I developed that later on in my life. But I was really depressed. I didn't really smile. First of all, I'm a Capricorn, so we come out of the vagina like, what's going on? Why'd you bring me here? Every Capricorn, I guarantee you, is like that. We have this stale face. It's just how we are. But I had a very hard childhood growing up, and then as I started to get to know myself, only a few years ago, to be honest, and this is me having grown kids now. I really just opened up and just started to really love everything. Like I became a walking love machine, and people are like, "Why are you so happy? How do you deal with death?" Because this is very new for me. I've had 4 family members pass away in the past 5 years, and I've had family members pass away as well some years before that, and it was just like bro, I don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know that people are not meant to stay here.
Yeah.
You know we all have to go because we all came in here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that time when it's just like, this person not coming back.
So that's a very loaded question, and it's just a simple question. I think I process death different, and not to say like it definitely hurts me, like especially depending on how close I am with the person, and it's I internalize it a lot. I do cry, having my body reacts to it. That's how I allow it to happen. But then I have to remember those times that I got to have with that person. The memories, like this is my. Everyone be like, "Oh, I love your microphone," but so my grandmother was like my best friend. It was my dad's mom, and she was a singer, and I promised her that I was going to take her out the country one day, and she ended up passing on May 24th, 2020, during the pandemic, and I never got a chance to take her out of the country, but and that broke me. Like I'm like I didn't get to do what I promised, and so we cremated her, and she goes everywhere with me. This is the most expensive piece of jewelry that I own, and so she's been to London, she's been to different states and everything, and so that's how I processed her death. And then my dad, her son, passed a month before, and so his ashes are in my car, hanging on the rearview mirror, and so. And him and I did not have a great relationship at all, unfortunately. And this is one of those moments where it's like, take the time and, get reconcile whatever differences and all of that. And it's just like, I have to live with having those regrets or not getting the answers to why you didn't want to be in my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I internalize it that like, it hurts me, but I'm okay with that. Yeah. But like when it comes to my grandma, it's like,
Grandma's different.
Yeah. And so, but even for my birthday this past weekend, I wore my dad's ring, to match my outfit, and so that's how I dealt. That's how I deal with it. Just like let me pay homage to him. You know what I mean? I still love him. Even though I can't speak to him. So it's just I think I celebrate people's lives. I'm starting to understand like. Especially memorial services or funerals, whatever you want to call them, it's a celebration because I guarantee if they had an opportunity to come back, they gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want it.
Exactly.
So yeah, yes, like nah, y'all don't understand what's up here now. You want? Hey, y'all need to hurry up.
Exactly.
So yeah, but yeah, I enjoy. And I sing at a lot of people's services too. So especially a lot of my family members, they always ask me to sing. Some of them I don't because I just get tired of singing. I don't get to grieve.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I sing through, death, and I smile through it. I just let my emotions operate how they're going to operate, and I need to be able to be more free. As a man, we are taught to internalize everything and not show emotion. So I'm starting to like tap in more and allow myself to be free.
That's good. I love that. So how did you get into music? Was it your grandmother? Was it your uncle? Like how did music like take over you?
So I had a crush on a girl in 5th grade in summer camp, and she could sing really well. And they was like, "Who wanna sing a duet?" Well, her name was Perry. And I'm thirsty. I'm like, I do. Not knowing what I was getting myself into. Yeah. And so, to make a long story short, I ended up singing a duet with her. Didn't win her over. But I discovered that I was able to sing. And then the Jamie Foxx show was out. And I was watching that all the time. And so I was like, I want to do that. Like, I don't know how to do it, but I want to do that. And just watching him play the piano and sing the wedding song. Man, cool. Like, look, that's my biggest inspiration. And so I was just studying him. And then in high school, started doing musical theater. And Jamie Foxx Unpredictable album came out my freshman year of high school.
You telling our age. Hold
It's
on.
all good. We don't look it.
We definitely
So,
don't.
I started learning those records and just started singing them to girls. And then, but I was a baseball player too. So that's the thing. So my dad taught me how to play baseball, and that's all I knew. That's all I thought I was going. I was told and programmed I was going to be a professional baseball player.
I can see that.
And I never took like music serious because of that. But one of the issues that I had, my dad and I had, was like he told me, he was like, you can't sing. Singing is for sissies. You know how to play baseball because I taught you how to do that. And so I'm like, then I don't know how to sing, and then I was in choir. And I joined the choir my junior year of high school because my drama teacher kept telling me, you need to join the choir. You need to join the choir. I'm like, nah, choir whack. I ain't doing that. Like, and then I ended up becoming like the lead tenor, and then ended up getting a scholarship to sing in college. I still got a baseball scholarship and got recruited and stuff. But still, it was just like that thing. And still never took it serious though. And then, so I think that's pretty much how I just, in a long-winded way, how I got started. And just still was finding ways to try to croon women.
Okay. That's hilarious. That's funny. Okay, so what do you have going on with your music now?
So I am working on my debut album.
Okay,
and
congratulations.
Thank you. I've released multiple EPs. As a matter of fact, this is for you.
Thank you.
This is a Positive Vibes Only bracelet.
Yes.
And also, this is a single called Let It Go. And it's literally just about letting go of things in mental health. I think I have stress, fear, anxiety.
I love that.
All
we
those
don't hear
different
enough
things.
men talking about that,
Yes.
and that is very, very important. Like, to let it go. Literally,
Yes.
we have so much self-doubt,
Yes.
hurt and fear and anxiety, stress. Like, we don't really understand that this stuff kills us.
Yes.
It's not.
Like,
it's everything that can kill us comes from the inside because we are allowing it to sit there.
yeah.
And we have to release it.
Yes.
It's not meant for us to carry it on. We're not meant to carry on our childhood trauma and things like that. We are supposed to go on our journey and to learn, to go through the journey. But we pack on so much stuff, things that people have said, what people wanted us to do in life, and thinking that we're failures because we didn't follow through certain things. Like, no, that's not that. You're supposed to be here to experience it. When you look at how small this world is compared to the universe, what's you complaining about this and you have fear and anxiety? There's no fear and anxiety out in the universe.
It's just one of those things where it's self projected.
Yeah.
And I being in this career, this is my 10th year, and people's opinions don't matter to me. Like, I've never been one. Yeah, you gonna have now the meaningful opinions that from executives and stuff when I be in these meetings. Yeah, those matter. But even then, it's like I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt, and I also understand whatever God gifted me with, I'm still utilize that.
Yes.
So most definitely, it's just one of those things that we are afraid to put ourselves out in front of people. Now,
It's scary sometimes.
it is. Until you
even
do
this.
it. Yeah. And I love that you're doing this. And because I'll be watching. And so it's just like, it's just one of those things that I've been on the and behind the camera, in front of the camera so much. I got a commercial on TV right now. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I live for this. You know what I mean? And it's just having the opportunity to bless people. And because seeing you smile may put a smile on somebody else's face.
Yes.
And with that being said, I got this shirt right here
Let's
for
see
you.
it.
And it says, it's going to be a good day.
I love it.
So you have to think yourself,
Thank you.
into that mindset. Keep that mindset. You got to stay positive even when it's painful.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things that I've developed as an artist. And even meeting you, I think we met, 2017 or 2018 at a gig. And I've been going against the grain in the music industry for a long time. And it's not popular to be positive.
Yes,
And
that is
so
so true. It's man.
it's ridiculous. But if you stick to your guns, you can still have a sustainable career. I mean, you've seen me grow like tremendously, by staying positive. And if some people it's not their cup of tea. That's fine. I don't understand how, but it's not. And you just learn to just walk in the light and the purpose that God like created for you,
Yeah.
and trust in that journey. Because just listen to the opinions of other people, I could have got signed to a major label. They was like, "Hey man, your voice is incredible. Blah blah blah. Just do this."
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to add on to the toxicity into our culture.
Exactly.
And that's if it means that I'll never be as big as a Bruno Mars or a Chris Brown, I can live with that. But if I can bless thousands of people, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that people don't get to see is how to find out what their purpose is. Because majority of the people were told what to do
Yeah.
and how to do it. That's how the United States operates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell you what to do. I'm gonna give you a plan, and you just do it.
Yeah.
And you can make this. Or some people just they don't feel like they have a God-given talent. So what do you say to those people who are just like, well, I don't know what to do. I feel like what I'm doing, I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm so good at it. How do I find my purpose? What is a purpose?
Your purpose is the thing you do the best with the least amount of effort.
That
And
right there.
and this is coming from a person. So my mom was a teacher for Chicago Public Schools, taught 42 years. All I knew was education. So I went to college, and my degree is in education, elementary education, with a minor in middle school science.
Oh wow.
And I was an educator for Chicago Public Schools, working one-on-one with children with autism.
Okay.
And I did that for 2 years. And then, but I felt this nudge. I'm like, man, I wanna pursue this music career, and it's just like my baseball career didn't happen the way I thought it was gonna be, and I'm like, but I still can sing, and I'll never forget. I went to my pastor and I'm like, hey, I'm contemplating pursuing, quitting my job. This had to be like July or August of 2016, and I'm like, I'm contemplating quitting my job because I had been auditioning for Broadway stuff, not even prepared. Like I wasn't ready at all. But my first Broadway show I auditioned for was Book of Mormon, and I got a call back on the spot, and they was bringing Hamilton here. So I'm like, let me just go and audition just so they can see me. And so I'm like, my pastor like, no, you need to wait, blah blah blah, not knowing that in October that year I got cut from CPS because they did a citywide budget cut.
Oh my gosh.
And like 100 and some thousand people lost their jobs. And I was one of those people. But I did what everyone said to do. Go to college.
Yes.
Get your education. Oh, it's going to be okay. It wasn't. And so I'm like, okay. I'll never forget calling my wife. And afterwards, and like, I just lost my job. Now I'm a jokester. So my wife like, you lying.
Right.
Like,
What you mean you lost your job?
lying? Like, and even when I got let go, I thought my principal was like playing with me. So, cause he called me in the office, he was like, I know you've been talking about, music. We just having a casual conversation. I'm like, it's weird, And he's like, I feel like we on Hard Knocks, and this the coach bringing the player into the front office, and I'm like, where is this going? And so I'm laughing, and then he was like, yeah, due to budget cuts, yeah, we gotta let you go. And I'm like, and I was the only one from that building.
What?
And I could have fought for it, but I knew the lady who had been there. I'm like, no, she needs this more than me. So, and he's like, I know. He's like, we support your music career. Now you can like really. I'm like, yeah, it sound good, but
Exactly.
And so that's how I got pushed into it, and it was after 1 year marriage, and then my wife and I lost everything we had in 2017. And I was in my recording studio. And I literally was about to take my own life. I had wrote this long message apologizing for not being able to be the man that she was used to me being, paying the mortgage on our first house and everything, and couldn't do nothing. And before I sent this message and before I went through with it, I felt the spirit tell me go online and start looking up beats. And I started looking up beats and everything, and then I came across one that I liked. And I'm like, the lyrics that came to my mind were no need to be stressed. I got air in my chest. My life has a purpose. Today will be worth it. Feeling good, feeling great. It's gonna be a good day. And I was like, oh my gosh, that works.
It did.
And I wrote this song in like 10 minutes. And you've heard me perform that song, and it's literally been the biggest song of my career. It don't matter what I release. I don't know why. That's the most streamed song still. And that song in my darkest time had went on to bless so many people. It was been played on ABC7. It's been like, it was the theme song for Good Day Chicago on Fox 32. No one has ever had an original song be the theme song of a newscast. So it's like being able to make history through my darkest times, you know, and I lost everything, but I gained so much. And so it's just one of those things. That's how I discovered my purpose. But I was forced into it because we live in such a complacent world, and such a we love comfort. And when God kicks you out the boat and forces you to swim, and you ain't got no choice but to lean on him and trust him. That's how I live. And for the last 8 years, I've just been a full-time recording artist and performing artist. I've been blessed, you know, to travel all around the country and perform that song and others. But just that song alone, and having a commercial running up to 13 times a day, and people writing me and say I was in a hospital and I seen your commercial on TV, and it just made me feel so good, because the news tell you negative stuff.
They do.
But right before, they was telling you that you just saw me singing, saying, have a good day, you know? And so that's how I discovered my purpose. And it's just to bless people and make people feel good. Different people that said, man, finding that song, hearing that song, seeing that commercial, stopped me from like committing suicide or harming myself. So my purpose is literally to brighten the day and the lives of other people.
That's beautiful. So you mentioned your wife.
Yes.
You said you got married in 2007?
So I got married in 2015.
2015. Okay. So how do you manage being a husband? You're a father, right? Not yet?
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
No.
How do you manage being a husband and really living this entrepreneurship life?
So I'm so grateful for my wife. She's the stable one out of us two.
We usually are.
Yeah. And so she's a plan A, B, C person. I am a through Z. If this don't work, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. And she wasn't used to it. She wasn't ready for it. She was like, when I came home and told her that I think God wants me to pursue music, she had this look on her face like, you should have thought about that before we got married, because I ain't signed up for that. And so I'm like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's going to work. I promise you it's going to work. And year after year, I'm like, it's going to work. It's going to work. And I just stopped saying that it's going to work because it hadn't been working. And then, but you just learn that even if the people closest to you don't understand the journey and don't understand the calling, you still got to stick with it.
Yes, you do.
And she, the moment she believed it is in, I think it was December something, whatever, in 2019, when during the halftime of a Bears game, and they played my commercial on TV for the first time. And hundreds of thousands of people got to see that.
Yeah.
And her and my mama. Now, and backtrack, we lost everything. I had to move back in with my mama for 4 years while being married. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
Look, when people may think like I'm arrogant, and I'm not, but I'm so confident, and I'm so like, I'm built different, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. To be married and be in your childhood bedroom and your mama across the hall from you. Like, you want some breakfast? Like, you gotta be built different to
really
humble
do.
yourself and to give up everything you got to gain and grow into the person that God called you to be.
Yes, that's very
So yeah,
true.
my wife is a therapist though.
Yeah.
So she's not my therapist,
Okay.
but she is a therapist, and she has a lot more common sense than me. And she understands now, and she knows ain't no talking me out of this. And even my mama know it ain't no. You can't talk me out of it. Like, it's too late now. But the longer you stick to it and you show people, they have no choice but to buy a ticket on your train.
Come on.
So
Come on.
and it's just one of those things where you just learn. You learn yourself. You learn what you're willing to go through and grow through. Because most people, they say, I'm going through this, but what you growing through.
Ooh.
So it's such a difference. And I just, this word, because my wife is always like, your words. So, because I'm a no-nonsense person, because if I can overcome starting my life over at 27 and get to where I am, I don't see why no one can do it unless you physically unable to.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse. If you get knocked down, hey, get up, go ahead, cry, do what you got to do. But what is the lesson in that fall? You know, and we can talk about your fall too. If people, I don't know if people know about it, but so it's just, you learn so much about yourself, and I'm so, like I said, I'm so confident in who I am and who God called me to be through that, because you learn and the challenges, because the biggest challenge in the marriage is finances.
Really?
What?
Any
married? No, I'm just saying that. But any married person will tell you the biggest struggle, the biggest argument starter is finances. And most people, we know couples that's been married 25, 30 years, longer than that, and they like, we ain't never go through what y'all went through until year 15 or year 20. And we did it after year 1. So there's nothing we can't get through. You know what I mean? So, and people tell you a lot of things. You got a lot of naysayers. People told me I was crazy for pursuing this career. They said it's never gonna work. You need to go back to the corporate world. And I definitely wasn't listening to them. Thought about it, but wasn't listening. People told me my wife is gonna leave me. Cause you crazy, bro. You living with your mama, back with your mama. Boys, that's over with. Your relationship.
We got a woman that's gonna stick beside
Man,
you.
look.
What she say? I'm stick beside her.
And my wife is a trooper. Like, it's, man. Like, my wife from Gary, Indiana. They
Really?
built different.
Michael Jackson from Gary.
I know.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Built different. And my wife is such a strong woman. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, obviously she's strong headed too. But she's a pillar. She done been with me from the jump, like, since we've been together over 15 years now. And been married about to be 10 in June. And so when you have somebody like that and y'all willing to go through the fire together, because now it can't get no lower than where we was at.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have some hardships. But being married and having a partner, a life partner, because people just get married.
Yeah.
But they don't understand life partnership.
That's what I
and,
want.
and they don't understand vows. Because people be writing their own vows now, and y'all ain't talking about struggle. Y'all just talking about how beautiful they are and how good they make you feel and all of that. That stuff go away when them hardships come, especially money. But my wife had to pull herself up by the bootstraps and literally take on the financial burden. And she still do it to this day. Because as a artist, especially independent, it's ups and downs.
It really is.
You know?
It is.
And my wife she got that dog in her. And like I said, she's a therapist, so she understands people. and she has her own private practice. So she make way more money than me. Okay. But
Nothing wrong with
no,
that.
look, I'm so secure in who I am because it ain't gonna be like that forever. Because
Yeah,
we
exactly.
started off, I was making more money, but it's just about the journey, and it's for richer, for poor, for better, for worse, sickness, and in health. You know, so it's just people, especially this younger generation and some of our age, they don't understand that
No.
in relationships. That's why I hate just
The
all the
dating
relationship.
pool is
Oh,
full of PISS.
look, I be wanting to join in on the conversations and be like, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Like, but
Listen.
have the people that be, look, that's a whole nother conversation. Because
It
I'll be
really
like,
is.
because I'll be wanting to go in on y'all, but not
Yeah.
you, but so yeah, it's just having someone that's a soldier for you,
Yeah.
and you just learn. And she's been on this journey with me, and she's gotten to. If it wasn't for me continuing this journey, she wouldn't have gone and traveled to places that she's traveled to, and that's so I think she's grateful for that. She'd be like, oh, if it wasn't for you, I would definitely wouldn't have been here. She got to go to London last year. You know, she's been in different states. You know, we went to Mexico, all that, and not last year or 2 years, I don't remember, but and that was the most expensive vacation I ever paid for. Because when I finally got some money, I said, let me take you to this, to this nice place for 6 days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So she had to wait a while.
Yeah,
I'm only saying
no,
that
no,
because
yeah, but see,
sometimes I hear a lot of guys be like, "Oh, I gotta make them wait." Like, why are we waiting? I mean, I don't know.
I just couldn't afford to. So, but sacrifice,
Yeah.
sacrifice is worship to me.
Okay.
So, and how what I mean by that is that we went 4 years living with my mom. I couldn't afford to buy her a birthday present. Couldn't afford to buy her an anniversary present. And she was like, I understand. I got you. Like, I get it. But soon as I got that sync licensing money from Fox and all this stuff like that, hey, here you go. Let me get you something nice. And you start learning. And then I started making more money from performing and everything, getting booked more. So we got to start living good. But you grow, and it's like, hey, how can we prevent this from happening? And I told her, I said, this will never happen again. So what did I do during the pandemic? What was they doing? I didn't get no PPP because all y'all that was scamming, we ain't get none of that because for our businesses. But, they was giving out $600 a week, and so what did I do? I stacked that bread up. I had paid off our credit cards. I paid off our cars at this time. And then I used my royalty money from the commercial and stuff. And I started saving. And I was like, hey, let's get, I want you to take a real estate course. And she was like, no, I ain't doing that. Blah, blah. I said, trust me. Do this real estate course. Because I was doing a motivational speaking course. So she finished the real estate course in a day. And so we started stacking up more money. And I said, hey, let's buy an apartment building. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, just trust me. I was like, this never going to happen again. But you got to trust me on this. And we did it. We bought a 4-unit apartment building for them 4 years that I was at my mama's house. And so those tenants pay for our lifestyle.
Wow.
And you live in it for a year. And that's a question I'm going to ask on this. If y'all see this and if I was to start something to train people on how to grow financially and how to overcome what people buy it, so because that's a lot of things. That's something that, especially in our community, that we don't talk about ownership with that. And it's just like, it's hard. Real estate is definitely hard, but
that's the real get up.
Yeah. And that's the first step to creating wealth is real estate. And so we bought in a building, we lived in it for a year, then we stacked up that money, and then we bought a condo on a golf course 4 minutes away from that building. And we're still living there to this day. I mean,
awesome.
but real estate is a beast. That's a whole nother story. Look, I got some stuff I can't say it on camera.
Yeah.
But you just you grow through the stuff and you learn. When you know better, you do better. So while people are just blowing their bread, I be watching. I be like, y'all don't understand what y'all doing.
Man.
Y'all be out here kicking it every weekend. I'm like, every weekend?
Celebrating something.
I'm like,
but
what are you
not just
celebrating?
Celebrating nothing.
Cause the person that signed your check, they living a good life.
Yeah.
And y'all working for them.
You literally giving them the money
literally
back.
giving the money back. So it's just like, just imagine if you sacrificed a little bit for a year. It didn't go out. And half the people, if you've never owned a home before, you get a first-time home buyer's low interest rate, 3.5% down. That ain't nothing. And you can buy up to a 4-unit building. And you can live in it for a year or longer and let other people pay for your mortgage. And now all the money you get and the extra, you pocket it and you stack,
Exactly.
and you do it again.
Exactly.
So that's what we've done, and we've become a team and a unit. And to where my wife be like, all right, now she's not afraid to step out and try and dream and stuff. So that's definitely a long-winded way, but it's just like marriage is work, and being an entrepreneur is work. But when you got somebody who is going to help steer the boat, you don't know where you're going, but you know you're going to get there.
I love that. I love that because I'm interested in getting married. I really want a life partner. I want someone that I can grow with. I don't want someone that's just taking care of me. I'm not the type of person where I'm just going to allow somebody to take care of me. Like, I like to do things. I like to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like to build. I've had kids since I was a teenager. So I have so much that I want to give to them as well. And I'm not going to say I need, but I desire to have my life partner. I know that there's somebody that's there for me to walk the rest of this journey with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've actually been preparing myself, like, what does a wife look like? What should a wife be doing? How should a wife be talking? You know what I mean? Like, I've really been working on that part.
Yeah.
Because I've been around people who are married, but I'm like, y'all weddings was not really that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did too much. You paid too much
That's
for your wedding. Your marriage ain't really shining on.
Ooh.
I don't really look up to what y'all talking about, but I mean, if you want to fake it for social media, do you?
Come on.
You know what I mean? I sometimes I would want to post my partner, but I don't want to be putting all of our business out. I don't want people to know what we have going on. Like, we together, but it's not a secret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're private, but it's not
Yeah.
a secret. That's what I want. And I don't feel like majority of society do that. Like, we don't even give people a chance. Like, we really don't. How much money you got? Or how many girlfriends you had? Or how many men you done slept with? Like, what are we talking about? What do we want a partner for? You know what I mean? Like, what is this for?
It's because they want their own, like, instant gratification. First off, you not gonna find the perfect partner. I can tell you that. Look here, you're not. They're not. This 15 years, I still mess up to this day. I still struggle to this day. I'm still learning how to be a husband to this day. Every day, you learn because how you are on day one. Definitely not. You're not gonna be that same person. That person, the guy I was when I was 19 when she met me. Is long gone. It was not that good of a person, but then but it's just like, but those ways is gone. But you got to allow your partner the opportunity and the space to grow, and that's what I see. The issue is definitely with this relationship stuff on this gender war online, because red flags, red flags, red flags. Y'all be the red flags.
Ooh.
And it's just like, because who wants to put up with your stuff too? But if you understand that, all of us come in with some kind of baggage, but they got storage units for a reason. And so if you can store this stuff you don't like about this person over here, but the stuff I love right here is out in the living room so everybody can see it. You just got to give that person a space to grow, like an opportunity. And I'm grateful that my wife, that's why she's a therapist. Because she allows me to grow and vice versa. I'm not a therapist. I am a motivational speaker and a life coach. Yeah. But it's, you got to allow that person to grow because you you're ever evolving. And we are. And if you still the same, like, you not the same Jamila you was at 15.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's just like, but it's people out here that expect you to still be that same way.
Yes.
And it's like, what?
It's wild.
Why are you bringing up what I did then? Like, so
Exactly.
you just learn and you grow, and and then you outgrow people. That's a whole nother conversation.
Let me ask you about, okay, so we spoke very briefly about your acting. You and your brother are acting, right? Were both of y'all on Hardball or just him?
So
how did that work out?
So my brother beat me out. So y'all can stop tagging me. So my twin brother beat me out for the role in Hardball. I was his stand-in and photo double, so I did no speaking at all. He's right-handed, I'm left-handed, so I couldn't do any baseball stuff for him. So no, that was him. And I made my name once I got cut from Chicago Public Schools. As who RJ Griffith is, that's who I've become over the last 10 years.
That's awesome.
And so please stop tagging me in hardball stuff, y'all. Thank you so much. Because Noah, I've gotten other things that I've done. Go check out some music stuff. You can check out commercials. I do a lot of musical theater.
I was just having a conversation with someone because I have twins too. My daughter that was just in here. I got, so many sets of twins and triplets in my family. So we were having a conversation, like sometimes a sibling can feel like they're in another sibling's shadow. And to me, I was like, I can see that. You know what I mean? Me and my sister were just like, I don't feel like I'm in your shadow. You know what I mean? You're who you are and I'm who I am. Sometimes we have to tell people that. And for my twins, I had to explain to my family, stop comparing my twins to each other because he's different from her and she's going to learn different from him, period.
Yeah.
They still did it.
Yeah.
I just ignored them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can see like how, it could be, people make that sibling rivalry and it's just like, we not like that. Chill out, move around.
Yeah, it's definitely. So I was in my brother's shadow, like, up until I made my own name. Like, because people always, that movie, y'all, what was that movie y'all was in? Y'all, this was when we was 10.
Exactly.
Like, so it's just like, get to know us now. Well, for me, get to know me now. Because that's not me. I'm grateful. I'm ever grateful for that opportunity to do that movie at 10 years old, for sure. But I've yet to do a movie under RJ Griffith. I've yet to do a TV show under RJ Griffith. My twin has done TV and film. I'm just now getting back into acting in the last 3 years because of the pandemic. Yeah, people was like, man, why you don't act no more? Because I was so focused on music. I thought that you could only do one thing. And I was wrong. I sold myself short. But the pandemic forced me to pivot. And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot I can act.
What made you want to get back into it?
I've always desired it.
Okay.
But the pandemic, I couldn't perform nowhere. I'm like, dang, I can't make no money nowhere. Okay, let me go take some acting classes. And I did that for 16 weeks. And then I studied comedy improv because I love like improv and I love comedy, if y'all can't tell by my personality. But I was just like, let me go, try my hand in this. And I started auditioning. I was always auditioning for musicals. And I wasn't booking. I'm like, why am I not booking? I'm like, I can sing. And that's another thing. People, just because you can sing don't mean that you can do theater. Don't mean
I wouldn't dare.
But you'll be surprised. No, but you learn on the job.
Yeah.
And so I seen my best friend. Now my best friend, his uncle was Chadwick Boseman. So, and my best friend is literally up and coming. He's here now, director in Chicago and for theater and stuff, and co-actor, co-singer. And he was like, bro, you need to go and audition for this musical. They was doing the Earth, Wind, and Fire musical. He was like, you'll be great. Because I had seen him play B.B. King in a musical. And he killed it. So I'm like, all right. And I was like, let me go ahead and submit a tape. And I did. And I got a couple views on YouTube, unlisted. And then And then they had in-person auditions, and I'm like, I called my best friend. I'm like, yo, they looked at my tape so much. I'm like, was it not good enough? Like, why they have an in-person audition? He's like, no, they gotta have in-person auditions. And the director probably gonna see this, but I was like, I ain't going. I'm not going to the in-person auditions. And so I was like, if they want me, they'll want me.
Right.
And I ended up my first ever professional musical. Walked into rehearsal day one, and I was originally offered a role to understudy and to be in an ensemble. And then we had to go around the table and introduce ourselves and say what we were doing. And so me and this guy was sitting next to each other, and he said who he was playing, and I said who I was playing. And the director was like, "Nah, y'all both wrong." He was like, "You playing mature Maurice White, and you playing young Maurice White." And so I played young Maurice White. Then this is a union musical, first professional musical, and I found out that's what I'm doing day one of rehearsal.
Wow.
So he's like, "Yeah, we got to increase your pay."
Yes.
So I'm like, so it's just like, but I wouldn't have gotten that
Yeah.
if I didn't audition and put myself out there. And I grew at the legendary Black Ensemble Theater in Chicago, here in Chicago.
Dope.
And I did that for a year. Ended up getting an agent. One of the agents came and saw the guy who was playing mature Maurice White, and he was like, "Hey, let me introduce you." And I'm forever grateful to you, Christian. And so I got my representation, and then the next musical I played Smokey Robinson. And my mom was like, "Can you play Smokey Robinson? That's my man!" Like, so.
Oh, she did.
And I was like, "Mom, just come see the musical."
Right.
And I killed it, like
dope.
because what they say, opportunity meets preparation.
Yes.
And I walked in day one of rehearsal knowing every single Smokey Robinson song. I would go to sleep to a playlist of all his music before we even started rehearsal, and because I was like, I need to execute this.
Exactly.
And so it's just that
you're
created
an
a
actor.
different kind of hunger in me. And so then I played the Prince in a popular musical here called The Other Cinderella. And then I was still auditioning for stuff through my agents. And then I auditioned for a musical called Choir of Men. And this is where things shifted, because as you're doing something for a year, you start to grow, you start to learn, you start to trust yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I was doing this audition process, and they switched my characters around. So they initially had me audition for another role, and then the casting director was like, "No, we want you to audition for this role instead." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And some just in me was like, "I'm about to book this." I don't know why, but you just get this feeling where it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just went down a rabbit hole of this musical. And it's in London. It originated in London. It's huge in London on the West End. Still running right now. And so we have this audition. We have a third audition in person. It's 13 of us in this process. You got to do this choreography first, and then you got to do a cappella singing, group a cappella singing. It's the most fun audition I ever had too.
Okay.
Call back, and you got to do this a cappella singing. And now it's 13 of us. It's an all day audition process, and it's starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, and for some reason I'm just like, I don't care about y'all, but I'm about to book this. Like, it was just one of those things where you just like,
You just know you got it.
I'm here, and it's people that I had seen that I've competed against in auditions. But it's like, I love you. This is mine. But I thought they was actually gonna say, congratulations, everybody. You all made it. Yeah, But nope, the directors and the creators of the show was like, no, we can only pick 1 or 2 people out of you guys. And so then you had to do your solo singing after this. And so they was like, who want to go first? I said, I do. And they was like, we about to go to lunch first. I'm like, that's fine, I'll wait. And I did my thing, and they corrected me on a few things, because the way they talk in London and the way they say things in London, I had to shape my vowel sounds to match theirs.
Okay.
And me and another guy, we were the only 2 Americans in the show. And I got paid to be in London for 3.5 weeks to rehearse for a musical. So it's just like, the opportunities that I've been blessed to get, all because I decided to pivot.
Yeah,
And it's a scary thing.
it is.
And but I'm like, dang, I could have been doing this a long time ago. I thought I could only focus on music.
Exactly.
But yeah, so you just do that and you just keep growing. So yes, guys, I am an actor. And hardball is definitely an incredible resume builder. But I got so much more.
Yeah.
So
What's next for you?
I'm still auditioning for musicals and stuff. Doing a lot of commercial work. I literally just booked a commercial shoot for Amazon today. So I'll do that next week, either on Monday or Tuesday. So just doing that and working on trying to finish my debut album that I've been trying to work on for the last couple of years. But theater doesn't allow me to, because you're singing, you're doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
And so your voice be tired. And so that, and just trying to continue to grow my nonprofit. And like I said, it's called Positive Vibes Only, guys. And you can check us out on positivevibesonly.org. And so just trying to continue to grow and continue to serve the community, because that's like the biggest gift and calling for me, is like literally serving people.
Yeah.
And because when you don't know how you're going to pay your own bills, you still serve other people. And that's what
definitely
I created my organization while I couldn't afford to pay my own bills. You know, while our bank accounts was negative. I was like, hey, let's start a nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, we bless so many kids. And we do a back to school bash every year, giving out 500 to 2,000. Well, we gave out as much as 2,000 book bags and stuff. During the pandemic, we were giving out 1,500 to 2,000 boxes of food every month, and then the government cut off our supply. And then so we do a Thanksgiving food drive every year. Last year we switched it up and did Christmas, where we gave out hats, scarves, gloves. So just serving people is continuing for me, and just trying to learn who I am and be the better version of myself as I can be.
I love that. You got it.
Got more questions before, if I even say this?
Say what you got.
No, I'm gonna wait to see if
What?
I'm gonna see if I'm
Say
gonna
what
see.
you gotta
I'm
say.
so no, and just trying, like I said, trying to evolve in this next chapter in my life, and prayerfully, I'll be able to have kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
so
do you want children?
you said why?
Yeah.
I wanted to give them the love I didn't get, and be the father that that I've always wanted. And so, but it's out there already. So like last year, the doctor told me I can't have them.
What?
So yeah. So like my twin has my niece. And so that's another thing. So I'm documenting that whole process.
Okay.
So I have a rare disease called azoospermia, and so it happens in 1% of men. And so, but they are able to. Some of them are able to have kids. Some of them can't. So it's just, so I'm going through fertility treatments now.
Okay.
So, so yeah, I want to
Don't
evolve.
just skip over that. Talk about that real quick, because you see a lot of women talk about,
take a
going
sip of
through
water.
what is IVF and trying to have children. Like there's a mass amount of women on social media talking about it.
Yeah.
I think personally it's very important, whether you do it now or later, but to talk about that, because it would bring so much awareness. There are so many men that want to have children but can't, or think that they couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that right there would be a story, and also probably open up that door for that child to come.
So, yeah, I was doing the musical Choir Man when I got that phone call last year, right before my show. And then my wife was like, doctor said, you can't even have them. Like, you don't have no sperm. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, my twin just, no. And so you learn how to overcome. And when I lost everything, I thought that was the lowest point of my life. But this is different. So as a man, we take pride in, knowing who we are and being confident, like, oh yeah, I can have kids and all that stuff. And you when you waking up every day, the devil literally attacks your mind every day. And for me, it's just like, you less than, because you can't even have kids. And I see people's pictures, all your pictures, everybody, and I'm happy for y'all. Like I'm grateful that y'all get to experience that. But it's like you feel so like I don't want to say inhumane, but it's just like you just feel like half a man, and it's just something you battle every day, and that's why I say when I say I'm built different, because a lot of people can't deal with this, and there's guys that's out here that won't talk about it. So I've been documenting my journey for a reason, because the doctor was like, "That's crazy that your twin had kids. He never had an issue," and he was like, "We got to figure out what's happening to you."
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's a thing that it hurts. It hurts every day, but like I said, you gotta stay positive even when it's painful.
That part.
So
Ooh, that's
yeah,
powerful.
and you just learn. And in my lowest moment 8 years ago, I wrote "Good Day." I've been in the zone writing how I feel throughout this whole process, and I've written so many songs, and the people that I've let hear them, this one particular song, because it's called "Even Superheroes." And superheroes, we all feel like we built for it, so we can go through anything, deal with anything. And even superheroes, they can have powers, and even they fall prey to being vulnerable and get beat up, get knocked down. And people are saying like this is like the best song I've ever written, and it's in my lowest moment. So I'm like, God, what are you trying to do?
Exactly.
Please give me another hit song, God. But I don't. Look here, So you just learn to grow through it, and like I just wanna do the first verse of this song.
Yeah.
But I don't know all the words yet, y'all. And maybe this song, cause we all feel this way. I've been the one they call when the weight gets heavy. Always standing tall, always holding steady. But some days even still can bend, and even the weakest capes catch the wind. I faced the fire, I braved the cold, kept my balance, played my role. But there are moments when I slip, and I need a hand to steady my grip. Even superheroes lose their way. Even the villains have their days. When the sky pulls hard and the wind won't quit, even the strongest need help to lift. And that's the first verse. It's that song came. It's just I'm like, okay. I think my wife and I was like arguing, because it's just this. That's another thing. Finances. I'm gonna say finances and fertility. Because that it's an emotional process.
Yeah,
It's a
it
very
is.
emotional process to take the IVF approach. And I'm like, it's those conversations where it's like, you don't understand what I'm going through. Well, you don't understand what I'm going through. No. But we need each other.
Yeah.
You strong.
Yeah.
You strong. You strong. You strong. I'm strong.
Yeah.
But I need your help in this area.
Yeah.
And I wrote that song, like, I was just like, okay, God, all right.
Yeah,
So you just, I'm a superhero. But I get beat up sometimes. And so this process is really teaching me and showing me who I am, because it's hard to share. Guys was like, bro, I would have never said that out. I'm a transparent Christian, y'all.
You were
So
built to be who you are right now
Exactly.
for a reason, and this journey that you're on
Yeah.
is meant to be
Yes.
projected out here.
and
Tell
bless.
it.
Yeah,
Tell it.
and bless people, because some guys, hopefully, it's not that many stories. You can't find that many. It's a couple people on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
That'd be the breakthrough right there. I had a video that hit 8 million views on TikTok, and it's because I was researching something, and I couldn't find that many videos, and I'm like, all right, forget it. I'm gonna just document what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna post it.
Yeah.
I posted it. When I tell you it hit a couple hundred, and I'm like, oh, I'm
Okay.
so happy. And then my phone kept going off. I don't like notifications.
Mm.
My phone kept going off, and I'm like, does that say 2,000? Did that
Mm.
100,000? And it kept going up.
Yeah.
Literally hit 8 million.
Wow.
In 2 months, it hit
Wow.
8 million. I kept getting so many questions like, how did you do this? What did you do? Da-da-da-da. I'm just, bro. And I was already getting my content
Yeah.
there. So I had got my first like 3,000 followers organically on TikTok. It shot me up to 36K on TikTok. And I'm
Wow.
like, that's what I needed. So
Wow.
it be that right there. I don't know if that's for you, but
Yeah.
put that out there because
yeah.
somebody needs to hear that, and you're gonna keep growing from it.
We thank you. Like I created a separate like TikTok page, Instagram where I documented that. It's called the Griffiths 2015. If y'all would like to check us out,
Yes, we do.
and because it's something, and the amount of love just from the first like fertility video I posted, that I was just like, oh snap. But it's stuff like that that's real. I'm like, but even on my own personal page, I'm like, I don't get this kind of love. But I get it because it's such a sensitive subject, and there's so many people going through it, and it's just you just don't know, and we are so embarrassed to share your struggle. And this is how I was born, y'all. I don't think nobody kicked me in my, nuts or anything like that when I was a kid. You get kicked every now and then, but I don't think that one did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you understand it's like, you question, obviously, like,
Yeah.
God, why am I going through this?
Yeah.
But then what are you trying to communicate to me?
Exactly.
Who am I trying to help? Who am I supposed to help? And you just learn so much about yourself and your partner, your life partner. So yeah, I've been writing. So that's what's next. Trying to get this album done, y'all. I promise you. And it's called You're Too Positive.
Okay.
Because the industry has told me time and time again that my music was too positive.
Yeah.
But God showed otherwise. And this world that we live in is everywhere you look and turn is so negative. The music is so negative. And I don't understand how people listen to that. Y'all, it's just, if you're depressed, you shouldn't be listening to depressing music.
Exactly.
If you're
I feel
feeling
like
anxious, go ahead.
We're going through a transition right now where people are wanting to connect more with the positive side. Like there's always going to be an imbalance
Yeah.
because that's just what it is. The yin to yang,
Yeah.
that black and white and everything like that. But I do feel like there is a big shift right now that's happening for people to stand up and just be like, no, we're not
Yeah.
accepting this no more.
Yeah.
That's not for us. No, we're really stepping up and saying, no, don't play that.
Yeah.
At events,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
don't play that. And
That's
it's going to start hurting people's pockets, and they're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
change. That's where you do it. That's where you start to see the change. It takes one, then it takes two, and
Yeah.
a few, and now we're here, and like it
Yeah.
becomes something of the past, like for real. But
I don't want it to be like that. I mean, I do, but I don't want to hurt people's pockets. But it's like, y'all,
Yes, you do.
understand? I do.
yeah,
But it's just like,
that's where change comes
Yeah.
from. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at all these billionaires that have all this money, like
Mm-hmm.
they just constantly stack. You have enough money to give for the rest of us
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to all live
Yeah.
comfortably,
Yeah.
but you hoarder it.
Mm-hmm.
For what? The money to me is non-existent in the first damn place. Why aren't we even bartering our services? You know what I
That's
mean?
real.
Like we
That's
can
real.
honestly live off of bartering services. You
Yeah.
got something that I could use.
Yeah.
I got something that you can
Yeah.
use. And if we don't, we can go to this person because
Yeah.
they got something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's real.
It's more than enough for all of us. But like I said, it's a shift. So keep that
so.
hope. I definitely want to encourage you and just say, keep going for what you know is right.
Yeah.
And it's about to change. It really is. And I wish you the best. I'm going to wrap it up and just say, I appreciate you for coming all the way out here, for being on the podcast, for sharing so much love. Again, we don't get enough men to talk about their stories, their lives, and just to give encouragement. And so that's why I love this podcast, because I get to talk to people that I've been knowing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and been following and been wanting to just ask these questions. So now I have the platform for us to be able to get out here so the world can see us, and it's our time.
yes. And I
No
love
doubt
that.
about it.
Thank
I
you for having
appreciate
me.
it. Definitely.
And y'all, this is the Mindful as Fuck podcast.
Yes.
I usually wouldn't say that because I just know how my brand is, but this is. Y'all lock in and tune in and support, because this is beautiful. And thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you continue to grow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And y'all
it.
can follow me too. Can I say that?
Yes, please give them all your
Yes.
information where they can follow you, what you got.
Y'all can
everything.
follow me on all social media platforms at RJG Music. And my website is rjgriffith.com. And stream any of my music under RJ Griffith. My biggest song is called Good Day. I got a lot of EPs on there online. Check me out. And always watch your TVs, because you just may see me.
That part. Thank you guys. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.